In a world where sometimes being broken may make you feel as if your purpose is lost, sometimes when we face the most difficult situations in our lives, that's when we feel like we can no longer fulfill our purpose. In this heartfelt conversation that we are going to have today, we are going to be in a conversation with a ministry leader, a businessman, a son to a pastor, a person who has done and who wears many, many hats. Today in conversation, I am joined by the one and only, the amazing Siseko Mali. Sir, how are you?
Hey, Tobs. Firstly, let me greet the viewers, people at home, different places and areas. I greet you also. In the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Yeah.
We're on conversations.
Yes, definitely.
At the block. I hope at least now you're comfortable.
Yes.
I was saying to you just before we started recording, but I don't know, but in don't le uyenzileyo and I know mhlambi that's why kufike nayo and that's can do if ubonile ufike ndizincudele nje ndakhoma no let me match the standards. Let me match the standards, man. Before we get into to the conversation, I want you to introduce yourself.
Okay.
Interview.
All right.
Take us back to Kula Kwako. We are going to be having a beautiful conversation to those who are watching us at home. And one of the things that we are going to be centering on, we are going to be talking about the theme that says broken crayons can still color. So before we get into that, I want to know who is Siseko Mali from your upbringing. Are you a South African national? So please indulge me and the viewers. Who is Siseko Mali, together with the titles and outside of the titles?
Okay. Firstly, let's start with the fact that my parents gave me 3 names for that matter. In fact, my family. Siseko, Sivuyile, Mkhululi, Mali. Number plate in the big.
How much ufuna personalize number plate yakho ndiyazi bongaqala ngapi.
Kungafuneka ijikele ngapha kwemoto. But nevertheless, I'm just a young boy who grows up in Tanzania, the second biggest township in South Africa. In the dirty streets of growing up amongst drugs, crime rate, unemployment, seeing quite a lot of things that are a distraction, you know. But in the midst of that, I've grown up in a family that is orientated in Christianity.
Okay.
My father was a minister. Ministering in a township called Snarpark. So I grew up in a family of both parents. Okay. We need
to get into that actually.
So growing with my siblings, I won't mention, but lovely siblings that I have, both sister and one brother. Growing up, you know, quite a lot has transpired in terms of what I've experienced and seen. You know, growing up in Lokshin, it makes you to understand a different perspective, especially when you funde down. You know, I went to Crew Primary School. Then I went to Sterling High, you know.
Before we get into that, you said Ukula, your father being a ministering in a church, a Snarpark.
Yes.
Leading ibandle Snarpark. Nihlalapi.
Sihlala Tanzania kwa one.
Oh, so not a Snarpark?
No, not a Snarpark.
So uhlala Tanzania and ukhonza a Snarpark.
Yes.
But ufunda
Sterling at that time, you know.
So you were model C,
model C, you know.
C, yeah.
Oza umkaksasa ayobekwa esikolweni ayokhumsha xa ibuye elokishini ufika umlana your peers elokishini kukhwela ingwelo phaya
Yeah.
kanti ushiyo George phaya kukhwela quite bikes.
And kaloko nithi nina pha coastal nguthiwa is banana carts. Dithi ngwelo thina.
You know,
Yeah.
so I grew up in that kind of environment, and you know, it's one of the greatest experience, the transition between waking up elokishini and spending most of your hours in town. You know, it has made me to become a needle that is able to weave through different fabrics.
And just before you continue, there's something that I've always found intriguing, and maybe you can speak to it a little bit. I've always had this thing in my mind, Mokoba. It's quite an advantage. I sometimes see people, I think there was a trend even on social media talking about abazali who supposedly are wasting money sending their kids to Model C school, what we call POF and Model C school.
Yeah.
Yes. But I actually find that there is an advantage to that.
Definitely.
That it leaves one with.
Definitely.
Man, there's a certain level of confidence.
Definitely.
Hey, that mnake who of okhule efunda ezikoleni zaselokishini ehlala lokishini. Hey, it took me time to develop that confidence.
It took some time for you to actually crack the shell.
Exactly. What is it that you think it is? And mhlambe cut off. We're still talking about that. What is it that you think factors into that beyond even just the quality of education? Because we cannot lie and shy away from the fact that there is a disparity when it comes to the quality of how the educators teach, and sometimes even if it's not the dedication of the teacher, sometimes the resources that they have to work with when it comes to these two institutions, whether it is a public school that is in a township and whether sometimes it is even a public school but that is in a predominantly white community or former Model C school. What is it that does that builds up that confidence, that bravado that someone ofunda khona ezawuphume nayo, that for me as uThobani ofunde eSibane, wafunda eGcobani, wafunda eNyameko, uzawufumaniseka ukuba ndiyo catch up only later on in my later years, since university, since college and so forth.
You know, one of the key things we learn in the former Model C schools is that you must know your story.
Okay.
Understand who you are. And through that phase, you know that you are in competition.
Okay.
And in that competition, you know, I remember when we would go and play rugby, for example, a match, you know, Sterling would say, my blood is green, Semper Fidelis, always faithful. You know, you sing it throughout, you know, and you hold your badge with pride. You know, yes, you know, that is where the confidence comes into it. You know, when you are sitting in the changing rooms there, you know that you are carrying the badge, you're carrying the brand, you're carrying the identity of your institution. You know, that's where the actual confidence starts to build up. The blocks come from there. The activities that you do as extramural activities, you know, you'll find a location, the extramural activities most of the time will be done by window rows. You know, you're not representing your institution for that matter, you know. And it becomes something that can't be intertwined with the day-to-day school, you know. You know, again, another thing that will be something that could build your confidence going to Isikolo, as I said, down, is that you're carrying this. That's another thing that you would say. That's Puma Belukshin, carrying this bag. Number 7, you know. You know, and you know that Puma wena phakathi esikolweni uyodlala a match Queenstown, be like, this is me, hey?
Yeah.
You know, so those are one of the things that would build confidence for you. Yes, there are activities such as your orals, you know, your public speaking trainings, and so on like that. But another thing that builds confidence comes from home.
Okay.
You know, in a sense that you are told that you are great. You are told that you can do it, you know, because you find other people ufunde but they are so confident. What greater town, you know?
Yeah.
But because character building has been done from home. So I do believe that confidence is built by different ingredients coming from different corners.
Yeah.
Different corners of life. One is built confidence like stratwin.
Yeah.
Confidence like built because you find other people can't confidence I can't build
Yeah.
but it was built at church.
I'm an example
because
of that.
They were given an opportunity to speak at church. They were given an opportunity to sing at church.
Yeah.
They were given an opportunity to
come out of their shell,
to pray for an offering. Then that confidence builds them up, you know?
Yeah. Because Glenda I can attest to it. Ubanyani, confidence is built up in different environments. Because I was someone who was in my shell for the longest of time. And on top of that, someone who is introverted at the same time. So for my sake, in most spaces, many people, when they see me today, are like, is this the same guy? Only because of what you're saying, you get to find out that in different spaces, certain parts of you that you never realize, sometimes you're even strong at this.
Yes.
You never even knew that you are someone who's capable of leading.
Yes.
But you get to church and sometimes I don't know what people see, maybe your commitment or what, and then they say, and you're like, where am I even going to start? And you find that actually
why you're in a class rep for that
I was.
Oh really?
Multiple times actually. But still that thing never. And I wouldn't know, but even now, why do you guys Escoland is tulele. Like I was beyond even being introverted. I was and then one thing shy. Okay, I was timid. I was beyond that. So coming back to your point about confidence is built by different things, and there are different things that impact that.
Yeah.
But I really do think that there is a role that education plays
Definitely.
into it, and the way that our education system is built, it really plays a role in umntu eselelayo lanto leyana uthi sodibana nayo phambili udibane sekukhona something that has already, a seed that has already been planted in you. So let's continue going back. Ufunda Sterling. Sterling iqala kubani grade kanene?
The Sterling primary, starting from grade 1 up until matric. It's quite a good school, don't want to lie.
So all the way in a class zong. So from grade 1 up until you matriculated.
Yeah. But I left Sterling and I went to a TVET institution, which is the Buffalo City TVET College.
At what grade? So grade 10?
Yeah, yes, I left at 10. Then I went to the TVET sector. And you know, it was quite a foreign thing, you know, because you find peers more fascinated by going to Wits University.
Yes, university,
you know,
exactly.
Fascinated with going to your Stellenbosch and so on like that, you know. But when I discovered that, no man, actually,
yeah,
this is where I should be going. This is the line that I should be going to.
What boosted your confidence to actually take that move? What you're saying, many people, they actually go the route. Many students, from high school, even if you are doing your grade 12s, you want to go to varsity, you want to leave home. Now, not only did you not leave home, but you decided, I'm going to go to a TVET college.
Yeah.
And you are doing this at a time where TVET colleges are seen as the inferior option.
Yes.
Or if
Yes. You know, for me, the person who became the drive for me was my father. Reason being, for him, he used to be the provincial manager of Animal Publishers. So the textbooks that would be provided from high school, primary, TVET colleges, and so like that, they would be published by them.
Okay.
And he brought me into confidence that, Chief, let's move this side, you know. This would do good for you, you know. And it actually did, you know. And other people that I left there in high school, never turned out to be where I am. You get what I'm trying to say?
Even though they
went, you know. So there's no formula per se, but it's a matter of understanding who you are and what could work for you, you know. Not everything will work for you, you know. Yeah.
Now, you are doing your grade 10. In fact, you're doing your grade 9 and you make this decision. Okay, next year I'm going to go to a Buffalo City College. What are you deciding to do at Buffalo City College? And how is that shift now? Because, again, probably most of your peers in Abantu Mufunda Nabo, they are Wits University, CPUT, and so forth. How is then the new environment and Nogufika in a new space where most of your friends are not here? And for Nelana,
you know, for me, I'm one person who's able to get into a space of 20,000 of people, and definitely I'll get there and I'll make my mark. You know, despite of the fact that I won't know much. You know, so I went there, did my public management. And that's where my political career started, you know. Led there, gone up, played, became the SRC president there, led the students, you know, led student parliaments and so on like that, led in council, leading the masses, you know. And it really helped me. It really shaped me in many forms. It made me understand, because you find there, Kukosis Noctember, 1975, you know, that you are leading. You need to understand this person that, go 1992, you know, so you must make them understand all of these things and how they happen and so like that. And within there, I was therefore a tutor. I tutored for them for office data processing. It was quite a good experience, I don't want to lie, more than one could receive in university, you know. And also having to find people, one, losing hope. Because we find now they are here, you are controlling and more than plus minus 3,000 students per day. The restriction, ufunja 50 rand umakhulu wakhe, and the only confidence ithemba lakhe likuwe as this president, you know, that president you must make a way for me, you know. You get them, and as far as you get them different sitters for bursaries and whatnot, put them through into programs and whatnot, you know. And it built quite a lot in me, you know, to a point whereby I remember at some point we forcefully opened classes that are edition that were not available. They said, no, it's full. We're like, you have to open. This is Vula afternoon, but you need to do something.
Something must be done.
You know,
because of the influx of students.
Definitely, you know, because we are looking, they can't go back.
And I know that thing, because I also did mechanical engineering at Buffalo City College. And I remember the first day in the Siapayan, I just gotten my statement of results and I went there to register. Man, mnandifika ndizipholele around Moma 10, 11.
Ow.
It's packed,
I'm telling you.
And I was like,
I'm telling you.
And most of the guys that are there, some of them also go Transkei and the surrounding areas, Mthatha and so forth. And I'm like, hey, I had to wake up the following day. Because I was like, ndiphela ndikhetha nje mechanical is because electrical lenda ndifuna packed full at circle spaces.
I'm telling you.
Now, coming back to what you said, you mentioned in the Ekokuba, that is when your political career started to burgeon and grow. As your political career starts, ungumntana okhonzayo.
Yes.
Are you still going to church at this time? Are you where are you spiritually? And as your political career starts now, occurs moments of conflict between your faith and your political career and some of the decisions that you need to make, because you're saying something beautiful, but it actually helped you. Abanye abantu bazawuthi xa bethetha, you, ndiyazisol uba ndandisiya phi politics. That thing corrupted me. So I want you to talk to that. Where are you spiritually in at this moment in time? Are you still umntwana kamfundisi omamelayo, or have you gone your own ways? And if you are still in a good place spiritually, how does that affect and influence the decisions that you make politically?
Okay. You know, I won't mention the political organization. One thing that I know for sure, when you deal with the masses and the people, you are dealing with people of God.
Okay.
Abantu ayingobethu ngabakaThixo.
Yeah.
With church at that time, yes, it's on and off, because you'll find that, hey, Chief, kuhleli on a Sunday. You know?
Yeah.
And on Monday, you know, we're plotting out certain things, we're deploying different campuses, we're ensuring that by the time people arrive in the morning,
yeah.
You know, there will be times whereby other things will be like, okay, comrades, can I not be part of this thing? Yes, it's fine. You can organize and do whatever that needs to be done, but I will stand at the back. You are deployed. I'm deploying everyone to go and do whatever that it means, you know? And the comrades would partially understand, but they would feel that, hey, tell the president is a sellout. You know? But by God's grace, we managed to lead. We managed to hit the wall that tried to block many. And my line of march was always to say, let the student be inside.
Okay.
And once you are inside, I remember my campaign on my presidential address, I said the first land is the mind. And that is where the crops should be planted, you know. And once you enter, I always tell a student, look, once you enter, promise me you won't disappoint me.
Yeah.
Because the next thing, when you disappoint me, you know,
it's always the case.
It's always the case, you know. But in terms of faith, what kept me going is the fact that, you know, awubona umntana obe ngalamine registration ebefike ngo-2 a.m. ephethe ngubo walala phaa ezitepsini.
Yeah.
You help them out and give them hope. Afunela umakhulu wakhe athi into yobana makhulu ndisifumene isikolo. You know, that made me feel that, hey, damn.
Doing something.
Yes, you know. And some of them, I will see them in different places now. Some are working, you know. And I'll be like, hey, yeah. But they will say, hey, Mali, you helped us. You remember the time when Ipasari Tenga Pum, at this point, Danzo drop her out, and you said I shouldn't drop out. One tata, why on the squatters are you know, free of charge. And you made means that you provide food parcels and so on like that. Here I am now, I'm working now. You know, I'm doing bookkeeping and I'm like, yeah, you'll be smiling. You know? So for me, yes, at that time, some decisions, I had to be radical. I had to be decisive. I had to ensure that I shoot the shot where it's needed. But the results later on,
nah.
And probably God now,
Let's go back. How is it growing up in Zini? Tata, kufundisi. What challenges did that bring to you, ekhuleni kwakho? You are growing up as a pastor's kid. There's a common stereotype. I said to pastor's kids always go wrong. How is it growing up in a household led by Umfundisi and now being a pastor's kid? And what pressures and challenges did that bring?
Okay, firstly, it's not easy to be a pastor's kid because there's too much pressure. Pressure that is unnecessary because the decision of being called and was not done by me or by my sister or some of my siblings. But it puts a pressure to a point whereby it's as if what are you going to do? You know, what next? You know, we expect this perfect
You're
person,
under scrutiny.
You know, you know, between red pen, they moderate and they're ready to do anything. You know, it gave so much pressure, but it made me a leader that understands that there's good pressure and bad pressure.
Okay.
In terms of good pressure, that says that you must always try to do your best in whatever that you do. But the bad pressure is that, one, you'll find you are just a mere kid, like any other kid.
Exactly.
You know, like any other child who's a teenager. You know, and one wouldn't expect Omnia to do mistakes or do certain errors in life, you know. But I got to a point whereby to understand the fact that I need to live my life according to my way. But what is my way? I need to understand it. I need to put a landmark and say, there's my destination. Yes, my father's destination was this one, but mine, that is my destination. For me to get there, how do I get there? Then I start to crawl if I have to crawl.
You mentioned
I start to climb if I have to climb.
Of people don't expect Bandana Babefundis to make mistakes. What are some of the mistakes that you are like, some even in hindsight, that you made along Ukula and getting to where you are today?
Okay. Some of the mistakes that I've made in life, bimoto, you know, some of the things won't be known, you know. But there's quite a lot. I cannot mention everything yet.
Don't worry about
I cannot mention everything. But nonetheless, yes, there were mistakes. Bimoto, drinking in public, you know. I won't make myself a holy.
Yeah.
No. I've done my part in being a child, you know. Girls, you know. Quite a number, eh?
and
if I think about it,
mistakes, a number of girls.
Number of mistakes, yeah. So, but it's mistakes that anybody could have done. You know, we're not perfect, but we thirst to be perfect. But by God's grace, we managed to go through those phases. Some of those phases, you know, as a child, those things are very important because you learn new tricks sometimes.
Okay.
You know, you know, but that time is over now, you know.
Because I remember this other time when I was driving for Bolt, these guys, Ziti, Vincent Heights, Zia Sunsets.
Okay.
So Ziangokwa like up emotweni, sithatha ngemoto and everything. Siphele ke zibuza apha kum, "Hey Godman, awuyazi man indawo esinothenga kuyo amataya emoto?" Kaloku you need to know the size and things like that. They have no clue. Long story short, apparently Banzalo, what you're talking about. Like, who people? Because bathatha imoto, and then I don't know what happened. Kwaphela kudamejeka one of the tires on the car. So, and kaba ne-rim yamoshakala because they were asking when I was zolungisa rim and stuff like that. So, ndiyabuza in the first place, niyikhupha njani imoto yandini? Uthi hayi kaloku man, sayikhupha lo moto lena ebusuku kulele. So, hlisa nje handbrake, uyifake ku-neutral, uyipushe. Yo! Hayi madoda niyasebenza. So, growing up now, having done those mistakes, what is the reaction of your father when he finds out some of these things? Nyana, what's going on? Uthini kuwe? How does he correct you? How does he rebuke you? How does he set you upright?
You, hey, Toms. That man, I think that's the chief. Yeah. But I was a cookie, you know. My dad wouldn't speak a lot at times. His presence alone would speak. Kwayimoto ingena nje yadini so yazi ba hayi tata ishubile
if umoshile yazi zasakudumela
ziyaduma induku tata ziyakhala but actually oyena muntu usibethileyo ayilothayo you know le oledi isibethile phini oledi
ne
yo hayi kadlala kalablo yo hayi usibethile ke phini to a point where uqonde ngumzali wami mnyani nalona okanye
it's always the case kaloku xa ufikela la klana uqoma hayi noba mna andingowalapha
and you find that hey kuthanda kubethwa mnokokoko njalo
it's always the case.
I'm always the victim here.
Soloko ndisengxakini eliphini soloko ndilandela mna
you know, but it made me learn quite a lot. Even though some of the mistakes they would happen not endlini, mhlambi you find bana okay sibe imoto yakulobani, yabo okanye mhlambi senze house party kwabani kwafika kugcwele kuthe si organizile kwathini yonke into yonke chopchoshini, you know, but ke you find bana kuzo phone yabo but you know with the time at some point it got to a point whereby besine guy code yethu, you know, whereby you'll find it time ngondimoshile ne apha phambi kweoledi izawushawutisa yabo xa sisodwa sihamba kunye athi hama mjwarha man but ungayenzi laa nto man
unendawo ekumbambazelayo kodwa yakungada kamnandi
and that would be okay, you know. And I valued that thing because it made me listen more, you know, because if I only shout is no speaking loud because she'll be yelling in the house and not, you know, time and I noticed and I but chin hey lento le
I guess
ndiyamazi mna ba hey ayu actor wena.
Yeah, and I think it goes back to what you were saying, Yakuba. It really helps to have both parents to balance that.
Definitely.
Because as you're saying, Yakuba, you were able to take even the correction. Now, like time I listen, hey, I develop but
definitely.
And I think that's one of the things about especially xa age yokumosha you know it all, that thing you shout
and kodwa kweliyicala ke time ke uyeke nje ubebe wayeli 26 lomfundisi yabo kuba sometimes kwezinye izinto zakhe ezi secrets that I cannot mention and declare here on the platform besihamba kunye sizenze yonke laa nto yayivane then the minute abengathi yashawutisa ndithi awukwazi kaloku uba nguwe lo
hayi bo you call him out
it can never be you
yo how does he respond ke ngoku
then athi jwag man khayeke man then that's kunye he'll be like efundile yintona wena ngokundenza lento
yeah you're growing up, your father disciplines you, then you are in Buffalo City College.
Yeah.
Where does life take you after Buffalo City College?
You know, after that, I took the pathway of being an entrepreneur.
Okay.
Started with ubuhlalo wakwaBuzali.
Yes.
We had Entrepreneurial Solutions, where we were busy developing an app called Sondela app.
Okay.
Bringing it into the municipalities.
Before you continue,
yeah.
Where does the entrepreneurial bug bite you? Ingabe khona umuntu in your family who's entrepreneurial in nature okanye was running a business? Udibana nayo phela into yoqoma, I wanna be independent.
Yes.
I'm not gonna look for employment. Or are you forced by circumstances and situation that you find yourself in?
Yeah. You know, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, do not to lie. Because growing up, around about grade 1, grade 2, I had a mindset, I want to have my own car brand.
Okay.
This is how it would be designed. I wanted to, in the electric, it's something that I thought about, but I didn't know about these things of IPs and so on like that.
Yes.
This is something that I always wanted. In primary, in grade 5, I was selling in the love bubbles.
Okay.
I would buy them, get R2. Excuse me. I would buy them, get R2. Gapa, yabona nje use crew primary wela nje is strato. Khona la shop iphayana. I go there and buy the love bubbles, fake emanzini. Thengise icup, then icup encane, yabo. Cup A1 is R6.
Okay.
Yabo. You know, I'll make a profit to get paid A1, 50 Rand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Fridays, I know Mali.
Go but my
R1, 50 cents. So entrepreneurship is something that started back in primary for me. And also what also inspired me was my grandmother, you know. Amalinda Umabusoci. My grandmother used to run a catering entity. Also had catering equipment to hire out. So what we would do when we come back from school, when we get to Endlini, Amalinda, right opposite Nate's cars. Get Endlini, sibala amacebo. Yazazi ndobana 10, 20 cents a1,
yeah.
Balo 1 2 3 4 5. Xa ubuyile fake ireken. Yayiva so bala ngokubana okay, imali ethile le ngokufuna ezinga ngoku, you know. So I learned from there, you know. And then uyalezwe bana bakhona abantu ke bazozothatha itafile. Yayiva mind you ndimngaka
kodwa kushiwo wena in charge.
Dingaka.
No, I'm in charge here.
You know, zitafile zintoni bavulele nababuyisayo, you know. So in the entrepreneurship for me, it was an inspiration starting from there, you know, despite of the fact that my dad was also an entrepreneur, but mostly a tenderpreneur. So I think
from both sides.
From both sides,
it was something that was in the family.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
So now you start with Entrepreneurial
Solutions.
What then?
Yeah. So after Entrepreneurial Solutions, we persuaded this thing of trying to bring the information closer to the people, because people have a right of access to information, but the problem is that they don't understand the information. You know, our people don't understand the rights that they have in terms of their billing, you know, and so on like that. But after that, it gave birth to Manzini Energy.
Yes.
where I won a couple of competitions. Even the time we were in Solo Solutions with Buhlal, we won quite a number of competitions from Ekasi Biz Entrepreneurship, in partnership with Thriving Entrepreneurs. Quite a number, you know. And at that time also on the other leg, we were in partnership with Oasis Water, where we introduced this thing of customized branding for funerals, you know. We brought that concept, actually. Where now you find their faces.
Yes,
we started that concept. Even then, if we knew about IP, we probably now
protected.
We would have protected the idea long gone before, you know. But nonetheless, went through to Manzini Energy, ran Manzini Energy, won the competition with Ellen Gray Makers, and also went on in other competitions also, which there's quite a number of them. Then gave birth to Mali Projects and Services. Because you know, you are all over, from shuttles to removals. From removals, we also started Malibu Meats, where we run a virtual butchery, which is based in Quickney, Curry Street. And there's quite a number, eh?
Yeah.
There's quite a number.
What are some of the failures that you have experienced in your journey of entrepreneurship? And what are some of the most, I can say, lessons that have left a mark on you, even in terms of how you do business moving forward? What are some of those experiences that you say, even today, I still remember? Bonakle, I didn't even know Banza Pumanja, and today that has left me with a lesson.
You know, being an entrepreneur, through this journey, I learned that there are no permanent partners, no permanent friends. And in business is business. It's either you do it or you don't. Some may take time, some may be quick, because you intend to find yourself in a position where, Aman, 2018, hey, I've been doing this thing. But they were able to just boom, all of a sudden, you know. You doubt yourself at some point. I remember a time, and we'd be like, if alone, we have sold almost over 2,000 water bottles, but we got this small amount. And I'm like, hey, you say you're
not. Is this still it?
You know, is this still it? You know? So there are certain things that we learn through the failures, whether it's compliance, whether it's hitting the right foot, you know, because, you know, when you're a young entrepreneur, you think of innovation. And all of
big
that.
ideas.
Big ideas, you know. Entrepreneurship, the journey will humble you. You know,
no, it will.
You understand that you need something that will have cash flow. You need something that would be on a day-to-day, you know, which led us to having such establishments, you know. So what I can say through the failures, what I learned is to be patient. Time will tell, and it will speak for you. You can see an entrepreneur that is well experienced. You can hear one, and you can understand one. There are those entrepreneurs of seasons. Awuyazi nalana uyowalka usuka eBeachfront eICC uyocela imali yokhwela sasuka phela ubuhlala kalele. I think sasuka eICC, I'm not quite sure. You know, we walked from there saya kumayoli as ambulanceni ngapha se Hemingways. But the only thing that we wanted to speak with the person that we wanted to speak with at that event at that certain time. And that is what we wanted. And we got it. You know? So as much as imveni kwexesha ke yaphinde angathi yashukumisa, but it helped us because it made you learn that when you want it, you will get it.
Go for it.
Go for it.
No
Shoot
matter
the
the
shot.
cost and the sacrifice that it has to
You
come.
fall today, you must crawl tomorrow. You fall today, you must climb the following day.
Is there a certain incident where you were like, hey, ayabo, if I'm good things are gonna fall apart. Whether in business, family, and so on. Where you're like, I hear if I don't pray, things are gonna fall apart, or I'm going to fall apart.
There are definite moments of such. People what they don't understand in the journey of being entrepreneurship, in being entrepreneur, is iyathandazela business. You pray for your services. You pray to have customers that will understand you. You pray that you understand the customers also, or your clients. It might take time. You might find for the whole year you are breaking even. You know,
Making any profit.
making no profit. But you're telling yourself that my client must be satisfied.
Yeah.
Because that client, next year, when they bring another client for me, then I won't break even this time around.
Yeah, this time
then I'll
around,
start to
then
grow.
I'll start to make profit.
But again, you end up finding yourself in a position where you find pressure coming from home. Etobani no le yenza kanye kanye ithi yenze nini lento yakho kanye kanye ithi lento yakho
dala usenza lento le kunini ugalela imali kuwe kokoko. Yeah.
Not understanding the fact that the journey is not the same as graduating, getting a passive income, and if you are teaching without teacher 30 years or since day one. But being an entrepreneur, it's finding the gap.
Finding the gap, yeah.
Put one foot, okay, uvala umnyango, then you go and try something else. You know, that's the way of doing. That is where now you keep on praying that God, with this one, please help me. You know, try and ensure that I remove myself from a survival mode. You know, because you find that in business, man, I've had probably 30 clients, but no, man. Go hand to mouth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because zifika mhlambi une 2 months.
A roll of deals, exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
Digs, you know?
So iyangena idlule.
Like, yeah, you know?
Yeah.
But it's a journey that one needs to kneel on their knees and pray for it, you know. Sometimes what I also learned there is that in business you pray for something that is not there already. You know, you pray that shopya maigcwale.
Yeah.
You know, akagcwala.
Sabetu
moy, but God, do it for me. Hold me. You know, don't leave me here, you know. When you go in and speak, pray, God, abantu baphayana bawathi xa ndingena kucaca inobana ubongoku ya ungena umjwarha ngoku. You know, here I am. They must listen, they must hear me, and I'm here with my presence, and they must give me an offer, and I shall take it.
You are doing entrepreneurship. You are growing up in a family. Your father is a pastor, and yakhula ngoku.
Yes.
Kuthiwani kowenu thini tatakho with regards to your faith and your role in the ministry that he is leading?
Growing up, he never gave me any pressure, actually. I remember having a conversation with him saying, if you don't want this pathway of offering yourself to work for God, it's okay. Because you have your own children. But the only thing that you need to ensure for me is ensure that you do right.
Yeah.
That was it. He never said anything else.
There's no pressure whatsoever.
No pressure whatsoever.
Need you to follow in my footsteps.
No, not at all. Not even once. Not zange. Two. Never. It was my decision. I was the one who had the calling.
At what point does the calling come? And was there a gap in between the calling and then you saying, okay, you know what, I'm doing this? Or was it immediate?
It wasn't immediate. You know, at some point I did a stay away from church.
Okay.
Excuse me, sorry. I did a stay away from church. And the reason for me to do a stay away, I felt like, hey, I can feel this thing is coming, but I don't want it.
And easy.
Okay, maybe what will help me, let every Sunday, my dear ones, you know, let me stay away, you know, because I don't want it. I don't want it, you know. Time went by, my father passed away, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, what's going to happen here? You know, I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And the time went by, you know.
What year is this when you're doing this stay away from church?
It's 2022.
Okay.
2022, 2021, if I'm correct. Then 2023, I was like, hey, Lord, this can't be. You know, I would even have nightmares, you know. I remember having a dream at this point. Dilel, hey, and I can see that this is my father. He's not saying nothing, but according to me, dated by the mere fact he's here, you know. Then I woke up. I was on my phone, TikTok, and whatnot. You know.
Yeah.
Then I had to recollect my mind. I spoke with my God, and I asked the question, what is to be called? Do you find Jesus coming at your door to call you? Do you hear a voice calling you? Do you dream about it? How does it come about? You know? And I remember praying about it for quite some time. That uba nguwe Nkosi itsho ndize.
Okay.
But I found a scripture in Jeremiah. I remember through my screening in the credential committee at our church, they asked me a question, how do you know that you are called? And my answer was, the book of Jeremiah told me that you discover a calling.
Yes.
And how do you discover a calling? Jeremiah says, I find myself through the tribulations that I've gone through. I find myself in a position whereby I don't want to speak about him. I don't want to speak about God. I don't want to even say anything about him. But I discover something in my bones burning like fire. Ethi noba ndizama ukuthula ndingathethi ngegama lakhe kodwa isuka iphushuluke phakathi kwamathambo amu isuka ithethe yona ibe yiyo eyithethayo xa mna ndingafuna ukuthetha. That is when I knew that truly this is what I've been called to do. And at first I thought it's being a motivational speaker. You know, I thought it's being a public speaker.
Yeah.
I thought it's being able to touch the one that is far, to speak to the one that is deaf. Not understanding that is actually the ministry that I should be going through. Being able to pull those who are in the pit.
Yeah.
But I've been sent. You know, the late Bishop Matumza says, when you're an agent of God, it's like selling Old Mutual.
Okay.
Zange waye head office. Kodwa uyayas. But you are representing Old Mutual. Oh, uyazi nesi for that matter. You know, that is when I understood the fact that you discover a calling. And in the midst of discovering the calling, it speaks to you. You know, and you know, uthi uhamba nje uthi wobona umuntu athi mhlawumbe umzekelo, hey, yazi kanjani mfundisi, I've had 10 miscarriages, and when we were preaching, it came through my mind, hey, life has hit me in many ways. Already you're thinking of a scripture to say, what should I do to this person? What should I say to this person? Ithi iBhayibhile sithini ke ngoko ngezi zinto? When you find such people, what do you say to them to mend their hearts and souls in ensuring that what we say we are is what God is. And what God is, it is what they hear, it is what they understand, and being able to comprehend and digest it. Because it doesn't help being called and you speak and speak, kanti ubhalele nje ukugcwele nje 10,000 people umzekelo, kanti ezinye indlebe sezisenza ufefe. Usaqala uthetha kanti ubhalele abantu ababini. So it's something like that.
Now you are finally saying, okay, Lord, I'm taking this on. What does your father say? Is he still around when you say, okay, you know what?
At that time, my father already passed away. He passed away in May on the 11th, 2023. Accepted the calling 3 months, if not 4 months later. May, June, July. Yeah, I think so, around there. It took some time. No, it was actually not 3 months later, actually. If I speak the truth, it happened the following year. Around February.
Okay.
Accepted the calling. My dad was already gone. Then since then, I've been walking this journey.
You accept the calling. Your dad is not around. Let's go back to that moment when he passes on. I remember that it was a little bit of a while after your mom had already passed on.
No, my grandmother.
Your grandmom. Oh, actually, yeah. Sorry, that's when I went to do live streaming. Yes. Now your dad passes away. How does that affect you in terms of your faith? And how do you walk this journey in the absence of the very same person oyahambe phambi kwakho?
As I've said, that you discover a calling, and when you discover the calling, you speak with your God, who will make you navigate through different phases of the ministry. It's definitely not easy. The time when my dad passed away, nothing was making sense.
Okay.
Even though it kept lingering in my mind that my father would always say, because my father was a general secretary of the National Baptist Church of Southern Africa. He will always say, when he stays there, he will say, sing as if it's for the last time.
Yeah.
And that is what he believed in, that whatever you are given, do it as if it's for the last time. So I had something in me that says, he has done his part, eh? He has done his little part, as much as it was too early for him to go, but there's never too early to God.
Yeah.
You know, there's never too late for God. It's always the right time. And I told myself that through this journey, I will speak with my God. Yes, I do have a mentor, which is Reverend Nganywa. I do have a mentor, but the biggest mentor out of all of them is God.
Yeah.
And what affected me mostly, you know, I don't want to lie. The people who hated my father, that I had conversations with my father, were the ones who suddenly wanted to make themselves messiahs to me, as if they knew.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted now to become these two goody two shoes, you know, and I'll be looking at them and be like, I know you.
I know you.
I haven't forgotten.
I know you.
Yes, I've forgiven you, but I haven't forgotten. But don't try me. Eh? Don't try me. Yeah. Because my father was a person, even when he would laugh. And I would look at someone and be like, hey, chief.
Hey, if I was in your shoes, hey, I would deal with this.
I will deal with this thing decisively.
Yeah.
And I will leave no stone unturned, you know. But it made me learn that not everything is about fighting it, you know. You know, you just be like, my father always say, you know,
yeah.
And you keep cool about it. But at this point, it doesn't say, because mourning doesn't end.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't end. And the minute one now things are all clever, you'll be looking at them, but try and step my foot, chief. I will go through your bones and I will deal with you. And you'll be sitting there as if there's nothing I'm doing. Someone else will be doing it. But I'll be dealing with you. And you must try me.
The political.
Yes.
It's coming up now. you lose your father, someone that I believe you looked up to. And I can only imagine how it feels like losing someone that's significant in your life. I can say it was a blessing in disguise, because I don't even have a recollection of my father. I passed away while I was very young. I'm sure that broke you to a certain extent. How do you then survive and continue? You're still doing business, you're still working. There are many ventures that you're still in. You're still effective in ministry, in business, and so forth. How do you not allow that breaking point to actually break you beyond, or rather to a point where you lose your sense of purpose?
You know, not long ago, I was preaching on Mhlobwenene. It was the book of Jeremiah.
Yeah.
I knew you before you were born.
Yes.
Before you were formed in your mother's womb. I knew you. And I mentioned that when God creates us, He creates us with a barcode.
Okay.
barcode that is a unique one. And God places you in a certain shelf of life. And in that shelf of life, not everyone is going to be on the same level as you. But you are given a purpose in your own lane. You are given a purpose to and what is the most important thing is keeping the main thing to be the main thing. The minute you lose that focus of keeping the main thing to be the main thing, you therefore now find yourself uthi ngokubisisonga uyohlala kwi-chef ye-globe. Then the value doesn't go together, you know. You'll be lost, you know. Now you need to recollect yourself, you know. But what made me be able to still be purpose-driven is to understand the fact that not everything is in our hands, but it's in God's hands. Asizidalanga thina asisithi kodwa nguye osidalileyo kwaye ekusidaleni kwakhe unenjongo ayingqalileyo kuthi and marked it. And we should keep on driving onto it. Nemoto ngokuyiye petrol okwazi ugalela diesel kuyo because the purpose yayo kukuhamba ngepetrol. You can't mix it together. The minute you mix it together, you therefore find yourself in a position whereby now it disrupts the engine and you collapse. You die along the way. You die along the way. You won't have the strength. You won't have the oomph. You won't have the zeal. You won't have the drive that will push you more further in life. But if you focus there, that's why the Bible says, ndiwaphakamisele ezintabeni amehlo wam apho uncedo lwam luvela khona. Yes, there are things happening here below the mountain, but your purpose is to climb and get there on top of the mountain.
Which then speaks to something. I think we were having a conversation, I think last week, kwalapha on Conversations at the Block. In fact, even yesterday, on the Word Wednesday edition, we were saying one of the things that is really important, it is our focus.
Yes.
Because what you focus on, it tends to shape even how you react to things.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about what you are saying, Ukuba, it is the focus that you kept on the right thing.
Yeah.
Keeping what matters at the center.
Definitely.
And but at the end of the day, what really matters, it is God above all things.
Yeah.
And our ability to cope even through the turmoil and the hardships, even loss and grief, it is determined about how much are we willing, even in the midst of everything that is going on, to keep our eyes at the center. It appears in the book of Hebrews, I forgot the actual chapter. Let us keep our eyes on the author and the finisher of our faith, the Lord Jesus Christ, whom after he had suffered much, he is now seated at the right hand of God. And it speaks exactly about the suffering. Even though we are suffering, there's no one who has suffered much greater than he suffered.
Definitely.
So if there's anyone that we ought to keep our focus on as the image and as the best place to draw strength from, it is God. As we are going to transition, what would you say to someone who is in that period of grieving, who feel like they are losing themselves, who feel like they're about to even to give up on their faith?
There's a story of Israelites on a journey. And their food is about to get finished. And when it's about to get finished, what will we eat now? But there's this young boy who only has 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And what is so amazing is that there are over populated people that are here
Izakwenza
who
into
are
izinhlanhla.
waiting to be fed. But what I love is that God, who's the provider, the God who's able to mend the broken, he crushed the bread. He crushed the fish. And what I'm trying to say is that sometimes in life we need to be crushed to feed the many. We need to be crushed in order for us to have a purpose to feed and to ensure that we are all surviving. Another thing is what I used to run a program called not everyone has a story to tell, but not everyone knows how to tell their stories. And through that phase, I'll always say your life is authored by you. You carry the pen. But as you write the book of your life, on every chapter and verse of your life, at some point, njengomntu mhlawumbe ubukeleyo ngoku iyakwazi lead yakho ukophuka, and you find yourself stagnant now that I can no longer write anything about my life at this point. Broken crayons can still color. But God says, uJeremiah wati umbumbisele siphasa lakile sona kodwa waqokelela. The potter took what was available at that time that was broken, wayithatha wayibuyisela evilini. That's what God does. He sharpens the pencil again. In the midst of sharpening, you lose your friends. In the midst of sharpening, you lose certain people you thought they are with you, but they're not working with you. In the midst of that, you are trying to sharpen, you lose your father, like me. In the midst of that, you sharpen and you lose your grandmother. But at the end of the day, when God finishes to sharpen you up, you are sharp more than nobody else. You are ready to rewrite again your story. Broken crayons can still color.
Yeah. Well, Mugelekhaya, please do stay tuned. If you have any questions, if you have any messages, if you have any comment, and if it is your first time watching us namhlanje, please do send those comments in the comment section. We always love to hear from the people that are tuning in. Please don't also forget to tell everyone else abangabukelanga to come and tune in. I am in conversation the one and only Mr. Sisako Mali, indoda inxiba iminqwazi emininzi. He's here today as a minister. He's here today as an entrepreneur. He's here today as the projects that I used to see Ubuhlali doing. Weren't you part of those? What do they call them? But the kind of give back to the society.
Yeah, community projects.
Community projects.
Yeah,
I think I've seen you being part of such. So I believe that I wouldn't be wrong if I would call you a community developer as well.
Yeah.
So I'm in conversation with him. So please do send in your questions, your comments, and we'll be right back after this.
Break.
Yes.
We are cruising.
Can you sell a scripture?
You know, everyone has a story to tell, whether it is the story of a business, a brand, an idea, or even just a special moment that you want to hold on to forever. But here's the thing, it is telling that story the right way. That's what really matters, and that's where the magic happens. And that's exactly what we do here at Electronic Solutions. Look, we are not just about cameras and mics and editing software. Though if I might tell you the truth, trust me, we've got the best of those too. But what sets us apart is that we are good storytellers. We don't just see a project, we see your vision, your purpose, and we work with you to bring it to life in a way that's not only creative, but also professional and above all, unforgettable. Now, I know what you might be thinking. You're like, okay, what kind of stories do we tell here at Electronic Solutions? Well, here's the thing about us. We do it all. From professional photography and videography for your events and businesses, to podcast production, live streaming, graphic design, and even website development. We even do drone shots if you're looking for that wow factor. Perhaps for your event, whatever the event may be, we do that for you. And it's not just about what we do, it's about how we do it. And here at Electronic Solutions, our motto is changing the narrative. And for us, it's not just a catchy phrase. We are committed to bringing world-class quality service to everyone. We are rooted in the heart of Umdantsane. That doesn't mean that we are limited to Umdantsane. Our mindset is global. When you work with us, you're not just getting a great video or great photos. You're also getting a partner who's invested in your story as you are. We take the time to understand your needs, tailor our approach, and deliver something that does not just meet your expectations, but exceeds them and redefines them. And honestly, for us, it's not just about the services that we provide, it's about the relationships that we make along the way. And to tell you the truth, we've built some amazing relationships because we've worked with great individuals, everyone from individuals to small businesses, big corporations. And the one thing that stays constant throughout, it is the care and the attention that we give to every single project. So, whether you're an entrepreneur looking to build your brand, your company, or you're a creative with big ideas, or someone who just wants to capture a special moment, whether with your family, with your kids, with your loved ones, we'd love to be part of your story. At Electronic Solutions, we're not just about changing the narrative, we're about changing your narrative in the best way possible. So, here's to creating. Now, go out there, create something amazing. Let's do it together.
Welcome back. You are still watching Conversations at the Block. And of course, I am your host, Tobanovo Mindaba. And we are still in conversation with the one and only Siseko Mali. Mugelekai, I want to encourage you once again to please like, share, and also don't forget to subscribe and comment. We'll be definitely taking some of those questions and those comments just before we end today's conversation. And I do also want to tell you that this conversation is brought to you by Electronic Solutions at the Block Studios. And if you want to use these podcasting facilities, you can get in touch with us on 078-588-4696. You can also send us an email at admin@electronicsol.com or admin@electronicsol.co.za. So you can come and be part of this family. Mr. Mali?
Yes.
We are back right before... Ziyavele zawe ukuba ukhe wahamba ngumshumayelo ohambileyo. We were talking about dealing with being broken.
Yes.
And navigating that.
Yeah.
And making sure that you do not lose your sense of purpose in the midst of being broken.
I just want you to reflect with me, Mhlambi, on a few things. One of them is, how well do you think does the church do when it comes to hurt people,
Okay.
broken people? Because most of the time, when we are broken, when we are hurt, in the context of Christianity, sometimes as Nkonzweni said, you are weak when you've been broken by a situation. Sometimes if you are grieving a loss, sometimes ubave nomakhulu bethu nomama bethu besithi ungakhala uzavuyisa uSathane. What is your view when it comes to how the church deals with pain and being broken?
Firstly, I think the church of today has drifted a bit.
Okay.
I'm speaking at a majority view lens. We have drifted a bit. The community is influencing the church now, instead of the church influencing the community. And that causes such things where people would say, you know, you know. But church, I understand it. Utu Ellen Nash, church is not a museum of saints,
Yes.
but it's a hospital for sinners. It's a place of being vulnerable. It's a place of unwrapping yourself and being naked before the eyes of the Lord. And ibangela ngokulondo, people of our age, they shy away from church. Because one will be judged on how they dress. Why uzayolila into ethile pha wena? You know, kuscripturize nobana umthandazo wakho nduvile wena.
Uthandazo
zolhlobo nje wena. You know. Whereas, you know, I remember a scripture well known Kahana opinion, you know. Uhana, the protocol of the church of that time, you wouldn't go to Jesus or you know, and you speak with Ikosa, then Ikosa take umyalezo wako, takes it to, you know. But what is so much of a narrative that made us to understand the church that we're supposed to be is uhana ubanisiya aye etempileni abane unikeza lo myalezo, hey awusephat no man awuyi kule ndawo ufuna ufikelele khona, because the minute after I've given you this problem, I go back to the same monster that will be crushing me, from the same monster that will be humiliating me and discriminating me and doing all these kind of things, you know. And this very same person, I believe, you know, humiliating her, but you know, all of that. Kwasuke ngenxa yokuba eqhutshwa yinto uhana, the tears that are falling on her face made her not to even see igosa emnyango. Wangena dine picture yakhe engena mhlambi eqhathazela kuba she can't see, she's trying to navigate, she's blind due to the darkness of the situation that she is in. And udathi abantu becawa yayivane ukuba akaselanga siselo na sinxilisayo, Instead of
This is
holding
unfamiliar.
her,
Yeah, this is
instead of
unfamiliar.
holding her by hand to say, what do you need?
What's wrong?
What do you want us to do for you? What, do you want to see the Lord? What can we do to help you? But that is what the church of today is currently doing. It doesn't hold you. It doesn't speak with you. It doesn't try and find out, how can I help you? How can I become of assistance? How can I support you?
How can I meet you where you are?
Definitely, And Oana broke the protocol. And sometimes with the church that we should be, we should sometimes break the protocol in order to reach the hand of God. And stop this process that is so,
because I was actually thinking about this, and I believe one of the things that God treasures the most when it comes to relating to us, singabantwana bakhe, it is a close relationship.
Definitely.
Now, the thing about a close relationship, it is that someone that you are close with desires to be close to you. Andinamdla wokuba ndive imessage yakho ngomnye umntu kodwa we are close. Ndide ndimangala uba bikhona into endiyenzile, why am I hearing information about you from a third hand? Now I'm coming to what you are saying, ukuba it seems as if now we want to create a gap between people and God, whereas God seeks that closeness. And unfortunately, sometimes even we create that gap between ourselves and God, sometimes because we judge ourselves because of the wounds and some of the decisions that we have taken in our position of being wounded, in our position of being broken. Who am I to even approach God? Because I've already done A, I've already done B, I've already done. But some of us, we disqualify ourselves from reaching out to God. And there's nothing more that He desires than, as the Bible tells us about the story of the prodigal son. So the Bible, yes, but there's a moment and there's a time
where you lose it.
where we lose it. And sometimes we even forsake the purpose. Because this guy goes and squanders everything that his father had worked hard for. Because even the things that we have are not the things that really belong to us, are things that we have been given by the Father, the talents and everything. Sometimes when we have squandered them all and we have lost it, and now it feels like, hey, we are broken. There's nothing that the Father desires more than come. Because we see His desire. The Bible tells us, and He comes towards Him. So as you are saying, we are not doing a great job in meeting people where they are, to such a point that the broken, that Jesus says, I've come to proclaim a year of victory, to come to those who are broken, to heal those who are sick. You are broken,
you hear me? And another thing is that what we don't understand is that we are guided by the Spirit of God, where the ministry of being able to be the agent of God, it is to be able, it's not to preach at church. But go and preach where God is not there. Satan asoza ayohlala eshibhini.
Wonke umuntu ushumayela kamnandi ngonzweni.
That is where we're supposed to be. That's why you find a young person will say, rather let me go endaweni ethile yeselo sine percentage, because phayana no one is gonna ask me bana utheni nginje yayivane uthe nje phakathi evekini ndigowa ndibhala status umzekelo, but umzwa uthi umzalwana kabhala status ngentonto yayivane. Now you are given but allow that person to be themselves, and just pray for that person. You meet them, Meet them where they are, you know, and hold them by their hand and to say, we will walk this journey together.
And that's the thing, right? Because even us, Christ meets us where we are.
I'm telling you.
We don't come to him perfect.
I'm telling you.
I normally say this even when I'm inviting people to church. Sometimes if a man says, I'm going to have that encounter, and somehow it always comes up. And I would then go on and so on and so forth. Actually, I want to invite you to come to church. And I always say this, the thing is, when uzawufuna uqala uyeke utywala awusoze ubiyeke ngawakho amandla, first of all.
Exactly.
And secondly, don't think that ababaphayica when they are all perfect.
Exactly.
God meets us where we are. The only thing that is important, do you want to transform your life? Yes, I want to transform. Then come. Because the beautiful thing about God, come as you are, but he will definitely not leave you as you are.
I'm telling you.
So it's very important that let us meet people where they are. Yes, we are not condoning the wrong, but we are saying we understand that we serve someone who is able to deal with the wrong and bring transformation.
You know, I also want to say to the viewers that it's never too late. It's never too late to come as you are. Broken, crushed as much as you are. You know, I remember on the hill of Calvary when ibhata phayana lisithi Nkosi ukuba unguye zisindise nathi usisindise. Kodwa wathi uThixo ngokuba edibene naye kule ndawo akuyo yena idiservayo wathi ndokuba nawe eparadisi kabawe. God meets you where you are at the last moment of your life when you have thought things may not go well, but God, I've messed up so much. I've messed up. I've made people cry. I've made people hate me. I made people wonder whether God is still alive. I went to church and misled them. I've made them to go the other way, but it's never too late. But God will find you where you are.
Lord, you know, I so wish and pray that may God help us to be a place of refuge.
Yes.
Because again, coming back to the conversation that we're having, talking about being broken. Because sometimes, because of some of the superstitions that we hold on to, we leave no room for people to see and to identify the church as a place of refuge. For man's sake, but umntu is going through a lot, and as a result of the lot that they are going through, omnye is going to result or is going to run to alcohol. Omnye is going to run to poster, social media, and all of these things. And I figure in what we call home, we say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. Whereas the heart and the hunger of this person, utuba eyona nto mna indinikeze outlet. Eyona nto indenza uba at least kukhe kuthi hu yile uthi wena uba maningayenzi. And I'm praying that may God help us. Yes, we should not promote what is wrong.
Yes.
I'm not saying
we're not promoting being unruly.
Yes.
We're not promoting magenze. Yeah.
But can God help us as the body of Christ, as the church, to be able, as you said, to walk with this person?
Yes.
I understand it before I just say, I understand where do I come from?
Exactly.
Why am I even saying this? I'm not just saying this because I'm saying, no. But I'm saying this from a place of love. I'm saying this from a place of understanding that as much as you will drink this alcohol today, but tomorrow the pain will still be there. And you are going to use this as a coping mechanism
that is going to lead to your own downfall.
Yeah.
Can we be able to grow to such a point where we get to a place where we are not only able to say no to things, but we bring that person to a point of understanding why we're even saying no? I'm saying all of this to ask you the question, Kokuba, what role do you think spiritual maturity plays in how we deal with people's brokenness?
You know, God's Spirit works in mysterious ways. As I've mentioned, that sometimes protocol needs to be broken in order to receive the hand of God. Says when you are the stumbling block for this person to meet God. Ulela kos. Lihlele emnyango. Because you'll be having these restrictions and all of that. But what I know for sure is that God doesn't forget. God doesn't forget. Even if you pray in your own space, even if you pray anywhere, but God doesn't forget. And when he remembers you noba located now, but God will remember you. And when he remembers you, atatu Davide selabantu bebhekele athu Davide nokokuba ndihamba elithunzini lokufa andiko yikanto kodwa uthanda into yokuba wena unam wena. And once you receive him, he's able to restore. Athi ndiyawubuyisa umphefumulo. God who restores and remembers. So I want to say also that let us remember that we are agents of God. We are not God.
Yeah.
We are not God, but we are agents of God. Tina siphethi envelope kaThixo. Okokuba uThixo uthini ngoku?
Yeah.
Nansi into ebhalileyo. This is what God says about this. But it's up to you whether you want to walk this journey. You don't force.
Yeah.
Because you can take a horse to the stream, but you can never force it
to
drink. And it takes time for that kind of ministry. You know, sometimes I always say, I remember as a teenager, payane ekaya, papeshe kwakade kukho informal sentiments.
Yes.
You know, and you'll find that most of them, they don't even go to church, you know. Start small. Dine bicycle, ungun magazi, bakhwela ibicycle. You come, kwel. Chance ngomse niyaphi? It's on a Saturday. No, no man, let's go to church. Timer, look man, masambe bhaki. We all
fill up
we go to church. You know? By the time we come back, my dad will buy bread, drink, yabo batye umuntu xa ebuyela kokwabo aqomba yo ndiye ecaweni ndatya. Sunday yam was nice. I was in a good conducive environment. What stops me from going to church every Sunday?
Namphinde ndibuye kaloku because this is a nice environment.
Ndithi ndivuka bagcwela apha eyadini sendibalibele walibala. Saying abatheni abazayo because I've taken the initiative to walk with them. I don't know if you can remember what I'm trying to say, you know, and the rest was God doing the job.
Yeah, and I love what you are saying, and I think it actually points to a place of maturing and also humility, understanding but it is not by our own strength.
Definitely.
When I just do your part.
Do your part and
rest,
move away.
Exactly. The rest belongs to God. How do they respond and this and that? When as long as you have taken the initiative.
Exactly.
Let's go back, because when I asked you, can I give you something, or do you have something to that you want us to talk about? You said you have this in mind. What prompted
the conversation around broken crayons can still color?
We're in an economy that is very unstable. We're in a society that is disabled. We are living amongst people who have souls ezinemfucane, imiphefumulo enezigweqe, ethi nje ihamba pha ucinga umuntu right, ubone ngene ecaweni kanti ngaphakathi wonzakele. Ufana nenkunkuma eseplastikini emnyama. Xa kufika itruck ngezantsuku zokubana kukhutshwe inkunkuma, ubona bana wonke umuntu iplastic emnyama yonke le row, but you don't know what's inside there.
Yeah.
And I've understood that it's not about whether one is working or not. I've understood that it's not about whether one is wealthy or not wealthy. Because you find a person unento zonke,
Yeah.
but kwezi zinto zonke there are historical things.
Yeah. Issues, traumas.
Traumas that have caused them to make certain mistakes bengamelanga uzenzile. And they've become a transition even to abantwana bakhe. If not abantwana bakhe, uphela ngokuhlukumeza abantu ecaweni. Uba engobantu ecaweni, uhlukumeza abantu ekuhlaleni. Uba kho sekuhlaleni, uhlukumeza abantu emsebenzini. Uba kho semsebenzini, uhlukumeza abantu nobudibana nabani na. They're on a mission.
Saying it to hurt people,
Exactly. You know? So I felt like it is very important for people to understand that yes, we are writing different stories of our lives. And you might be broken in any form, but it doesn't say your crayon can never color again. It doesn't mean that your journey ends now, but your journey could continue.
Yeah.
Only if you take the decision of holding God's hand and being able to understand that there are things that you have to lose. There are certain things that you need to stop doing. There are certain things that you need to refrain away. There are certain things that you're going to go through them. But the most important thing when you navigate through them is to listen to the Veronica that is God, who will tell you, Tobani, turn left. Tobani, at a roundabout, take the second exit. And listen to that alone. And not listen to what people have to say about you. You are the person who writes the story of your life. You are the person who ensures that every chapter of your life has a purpose. And that purpose is grilled and drilled in you by God.
And sometimes, ukuze that purpose be clear and for you to be much more effective, sometimes it takes the breaking. And I think that's the part that we don't like.
Yeah.
Because there's a part in the scripture that says, I forgot, man, how it puts it, but basically it talks about refinement, that even gold, when it is being purified and tested for purity, it is put in the fire. So in the process of ukwenziwa umuntu and something that is valuable, there are going to be those moments where you're going to be hurt. Uzawufuneka ukuba ufakwe emlilweni so that you come out on the other side purer than before.
I'm telling you.
But I think sometimes what we miss is the fact that we are created for a purpose beyond ourselves.
Yes.
I think most of the time we always think around us. So you don't understand when you're going to face this. Can perhaps maybe in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme or in the full picture of God, I know how I'm going to use the pain that you are feeling right now so that somebody else can be healed because of what you are going through, so that you may become a living testimony to someone else who will go through the very same thing. Because sometimes we can never be able to walk with people when it comes to certain things up until we experience them. To hold this person's hand, it is the fact that you have felt and you've been where they are. You've felt the pain of being broken. You've felt the pain of being rejected. You've felt the pain of failure, whether it is in business, whether it is in relationship. I know what failure looks like. So, lower utuba, I'm starting something. I can be able to walk with them and say, because I want this to bring this into a practical sense, into the world that we are living in. Because, man, we find that today in our society, once we are broken by situations, whether sometimes you betrayal, if I'm betrayed by you and we were doing business, then that says I will never go into business, or if I go into business, I will never work with anyone ever again. I'm closing myself into that, not knowing, perhaps maybe there is someone else that I'm supposed to be helping with the gift, with the knowledge, with the ideas that I have. But now because of what has happened, I'm like, so business. So now you stop the very same thing that for a longer time you were saying, my purpose is to do this, is to do that. But because of this one thing that has happened, chapter. And so I want you to take me through some of the times in your own life where you felt like, if it wasn't for God mending me, sharpening me, if I didn't have this understanding, you know what, broken crayons can still color. Amen. I would have let go. Entrepreneurship. ABCD. Can you walk us through some of those experiences?
Sure, there's quite a number, hey? Business 6 months down the line, you find yourself, and this thing is not working for me. You know, I remember having to find myself selling long reach.
Yes.
And I'd be like,
Chief,
this thing is not mine.
This is the first
thing. Is the toothpaste. You know? I'm like, no, man, this is not mine. You know? But
just before you continue, you are selling long range, but you are saying, this is not me. What keeps you going at that time? Because the reason why I want to make this practical even for the viewer, because this is not mine. What keeps you going?
At that time, I don't want to lie. I didn't go too far with it. But I did encourage a number of people to
invest in this, get into this.
Yeah, even. Angangatheng. Kodwa join. Khuphi imali ethile ujoin. Yazofumana maningi xa ujoinile. Yabo, and you give them that kind of a perspective. That's the most thing that I was doing. Eyoba mna thengisa ipads nepeti line.
I know.
I know. I was like, no, this is not for me. Nah, Chief, no. Because it can never be me.
You know, I believe, Vugoti, there's a necessity, man, in being broken, because sometimes what is broken is not you per se, but sometimes it's your pride. Sometimes it's the way that you perceive yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes you are being taken out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Because maybe your comfort zone is not where you are even stronger, but it's just that you comfort yako. So I believe that sometimes as a zindo, we learn. We learn some of the best lessons in pain than when we are happy. And so I think sometimes we are broken for such reasons. So I want to ask you, from the point where you are selling Golong Rich, what did you learn?
What I learned, Payana, that one, not every business is for you. Number two, be able to understand your strength.
Okay.
Be able to understand your weakness. Yes, it's not about the selling the pentlan and the toothpaste and all of that. For me, it was more over, this is not something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
Because the minute you don't have passion for that, how can I convince you, Tobbs, to buy it? I'm not confident, guy. You know. So I'm like, you know. So what I learned is that not everything is made for you. That's number one. Number two, study what you are selling. Understand it. You know, I remember when we would sell water no buhlal. It was very foreign here, Lokshin. Yo, sasiphatha TDS meter, ever. Sijonga mama. Hey, yazi lamazi angowathenga uwagalapha because everyone was, because now we're in the culture of buying water now, purified water now. You know, then it was not there. That's why there was up a highway, Kuku Oasis water park. When Oasis, it was because of us. And at that time, we had to go to places whereby we would tell them, Doban, amanzi waselayo to bacteria, that's percentage. Bacteria lab. Uzabanu say to nuclear like pressure and the pressure, unyuselwe, ilen yo.
About business, one of the best motivators for a sale is fear. so I see that you were tapping into that.
You know. So we'll always ensure that we deliver something that is unknown. Make them to be aware. I always say to have the greatest sales and to market well, do an awareness campaign.
Okay.
Make people aware of what you're doing and make them aware why they have to choose you.
I don't forget it for them.
Yes.
And basically, the customer doesn't care about you. And they don't care about supporting your business.
No.
They care about what's in it for them, what's convenient for them. So show it to them. This is what it's in it for you.
Definitely. So we'll go as far as showing the videos. See, John, here's the water. We're taking it through. Purify kushiyeke insende nje apha iliyo ke lo iselayo ke mama yazi ngibana every day naxa upheka pha upheka yona then they will be so traumatized ba mntanam hayi kodwa ayiyo kodwa le joke mama yazi ngakuphathela amanzi qho ngeveki 500 yayiva ne sendimbambile and uzoyiphatha kamnandi akho need busithini phatha ibhotile yakho ebhale inatsiki nelogo yakho endlini whatever that you want. As much as we didn't have a water purification entity, we were selling the customization of the water bottle. But in order for us to sell,
you need to sell the
we have
water.
to sell this thing.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying you need to understand the product itself. You need to know every detail about it. How much is it?
Selling.
How overheads zakho zithini? So that noa uthi xa uyithengisa uthetha I discount yazazi noba okay
you've factored in your cost.
Exactly.
Awuzothi xa uthengisa uqoma hey kuthe ndino minus njengo.
Definitely. Kanti kwezanto zaba forever ntontoni for me I was like hey and yes we understand
because into
seyigqityiwe and zazi side effects zazo mhlambe zingathini because you'll find and ome mhlambe uqomba fanele sense roloni yakho didumbile ngoku ikhwapha and you'll be like
you don't know what to say.
Those are one of the reasons why I was like, this is not for me.
But before we get into that, in fact, maybe let's backtrack a little bit. ufikiswa intoni kule ndawo yokuba ngoku uzawuthengisa uLongridge? What has happened to other business ventures? Kwenzekeni?
You know, when as an entrepreneur or and ndilithanda igama lehouse like encam. I don't like it.
Undertones ezingekho right now.
Yeah. Quite shady, underlining things. When you're an entrepreneur, there are certain businesses that you start, and some won't work today.
Yeah.
But you might find in the next 20 years they will work.
Yes.
Because you have learned certain things. And
sometimes you need the market to catch up to the idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, to a point where I remember when there will be events, you know, when I left up in Tanzania, the business support,
yes.
It helped us quite a lot on certain few things where there will be events. When our friends will be dancing at that events, the heat waves and whatnot, Tina's no bars, busy. We're selling Bravo straws and whatnot. Cash flow, what is important is cash flow here, you know. But the minute it ends, okay, there's a profit in there. But what can we do next?
Yeah. After this.
What can we do next? Then I was brought into this by Shubika's Wakapeni. I was like, man, this is not for me. I even went as far as saying, but then I created corporate partnerships. Because I'm good with negotiating, strategizing, and find other ways of building relationship and ensuring that I give a good PR of the entity. I got a bomba. No, it's not coming together. But again, all in all, in a nutshell, there's a saying an entrepreneur once said, your first business is definitely not a business that you have for life. Especially when you start at a smaller scale.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you might find now what is a high school, you know.
I'm
telling you, it's not always that it's going to be. Yes,
forever.
I need to abeko, but
yes.
there's slim chances that they would be. You know, you find yourself now. So with businesses with partnership ne palace no ba mali sifuna izitulo ezi 200 ulapho ngoku la innovation water systems and whatnot.
Yes,
it will come, but this is what we want now. Swinging tennis, May 3rd, it's fine. We'll have it. You do that, you know. The whole purpose, cash flow. Very important thing. Cash flow. We need a runner.
On the issue of cash flow, what's your relationship with money at the time you're doing all of this? And did that have any effect to Ulongridge? Because there's a business has a great promise, né? But with that great promise, it does not always come to fruition. What do I mean? Business can go well this month. Yo, we're right. For the next 2 or 3 months, everything is, you are riding the wave to such a point that if you had things that you were behind on, you've caught up, you've paid everything, and you ride the wave, and you forget that business is business. There's gonna be a rainy day, and 3 months before Leni Bimnanti might come back anytime. So what's your relationship? Because to such a point that if months like but now but things are going well. And to such a point that when you are on the downhill, I'm down and under and out completely. What's your relationship with money? And did that play any role to the point of Fumanakoyo? So hey, man can long
you know, as a young entrepreneur, you discover certain things. Hey, I thought I had good financial literacy skills.
Yeah, business will expose you.
You will find that, for example, you do a website. You go, I know man. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, perfumeless.
Yeah.
You do other things, do your logos and whatnot. Yeah. You find nobana. No man, organize me an MC.
Yeah.
Your MC shapha kwa wena. Yeah, but organize going there. Funi PA system, it's fine. We come with
Put
it.
you together.
We will
Plug
make sure.
Yeah.
Going to get an IP system, Sabanayo. I'll make sure you have it.
Yeah.
Ifike la mali. All is well. Hey, kufesa uthi qomba utheni clients zingeze nje ngoku wenzeka
Wathi xaka kube iqoba izoba ibhoom okokoko.
Lokusike kwathi denze ntoni
What did I do to get that one?
But you also find obana no nawe kodwa there is a time where ubane ubhatyaza.
Yeah.
Because what I've understood now in business is that a business gives birth to another business, whether it's still in the same streamline or not. I remember no Buhlalu when we won the stand-up bag competition. Uti Lebo Kunguluza, who was one of the judges, he says that, I have 47 companies.
Yeah.
We're like, 47? What? How do you manage that? Because you're doing quite well. Yeah, well. Gentlemen, one thing you must understand is that because companies zonke, from where you're sitting, when I have an event, when you buy it,
I have to be the one behind that.
I'm the one. Yes, those man I'll compute ticket, but I'm getting something there from a ticket in alone. If flights, I have my own traveling agency.
Maybe corn.
You'll be using mine. I'm getting from there.
So this business pays into that business, but the business that you are paying into is owned by the very same person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You land there. It's shuttle inside. It's mine. From executive to economy to just basic. It's me. Greater up, you go to a hotel, yam. You sleep where? Kwindawo, yam. Uchapi, kwindawo, yam.
Yeah.
Uzothathwa foba uye kwi-event ukhwele entweni kwi-moto zam.
Yeah.
Ii-chauffeurs zezikabani zezam. You get there, i-bodyguards kula event zezikabani zezam. I-tag yekabani yeyam.
Yeah.
I-artist ozimameleyo phayana are under my record label. Nah.
So it's a full integration.
Sound system that you listen there, it's stage.
Sure. And I think that actually speaks to how these big corporations have made it.
Exactly.
Because that's what they do.
Exactly.
The whole value chain.
Yeah.
That's why you can never outcompete them when it comes to price.
Yeah.
Never. Because bona from the farm that they are buying the ingredients to make land that ends up being ukutya. Bona bayithathe pha, they own the entirety
process
of it. The process.
To cutting.
If they don't own it entirely, they have partnerships that they have formed.
Definitely.
And I think that's one of the things as people of color. We fail when it comes to building proper partnerships. We fail, man.
Yeah, because we want to do things alone.
I don't mind even ntoba kuthiwe ke okay ndizayenza into ndedwa. But mangabikho into wrong xa ndizawubiza uba ndithi Samali man, I know you are good in ABCDE. Your company does. Why don't we partner up? Because I think sometimes in fears, if I may put it like that, because I don't know about what it is. Why can't I say, you know what? There's that guy who owns a ticketing events company. Why don't I get a stake in his company? Or if I don't get a steak, why don't we have a common understanding partnership? Or this is how we are going to work, because now I'm always hosting events and things like that. So I think sometimes that's where we fail. And I think maybe some of the lessons that we should learn, coming back again to the theme of being broken, we are not learning them in that season of being broken.
Exactly.
Some of the very vital, important lessons, as is fundi phayana siphuma with our heads still held up high, but zawuphina soze ndiphinde
uthi xa uphinda ubetheka kwesibini ke ngoku uthi hey kodwa ndandikhe ndabetheka ke kule nto kutheni ngoku indiphinda nje.
You didn't learn the lesson that you are supposed to learn.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It heals you again, and it heals you again and again and again. Then you end up in a position whereby kukunde always say ndithi about business, it needs someone that is very matured.
Yes.
On ethics, who understands that here it's all about the cash flow. Here it's all about the customer service.
Yeah.
You need to master the art of the business and ensuring that you understand the end goal of it. Here it is, move with it, go to the next. Here it is, move with it, go to the next.
Yeah.
And also what I also learned is that like a long reach,
Yeah.
but the most important thing what I understood also kuyo is that customer service is very important.
Very important.
Keeping in touch with your clients is very important. Because umuntu mhlambi ungangamthengiseli namhlanje but ebe inquiry shile, you keep in touch with that person. Constantly. Ubani uthetha naye noba yathi ndibonile naye nomntana omncinci man.
It's one of the hardest things.
Yes.
Because I think it goes back to there's a level of care that you need to give.
Yes.
You don't just do that. And there's a level of intentionality again.
Yes.
I sense again because stress zakho, you're not meeting your bottom line. And now you have to text Lomd and I cannot promise you about anything. Kanti, by doing that, you're cultivating a relationship. And one of the things that I've learned in business, sometimes we benefit more from relationships than clients.
Yeah.
So that's why you need to be able to go beyond is just a customer.
Definitely.
Build relationships.
Definitely.
Because even nala sense of ownership if it's your fault.
Yeah.
And because now it has gone beyond it's just business, but there's a relationship that you have formed. This person feels comfortable business, whatever that you're consulting in, whatever business that you have, they feel comfortable to such a point that I was so uncomfortable. The first person that comes to mind is you. So even if they don't buy from you that instance, but keeping in touch.
Definitely.
Actually, I don't need the service, but my friend actually needs it. What are some of the things that you can say to the viewer that is watching at home as we're going to wrap up today's conversation? When it comes to entrepreneurship, you wish they would stay at the back of someone's mind. But you mentioned something that is very much crucial. But who's ethics, customer service is number one. But above and beyond that, what are some of the things that you would say if you're running a business, if you're starting a business? Keep this in mind.
Okay. Firstly, you need to get yourself in order. If the basics of things you are not in order, you can never be in order in business. What do I mean by that? Your family needs to be in order, one. Things around you need to be in order, two. Because we are going to affect you need to be in a family. Focus on your business shifts away.
Completely. Yeah.
So those are the first things that you need to ensure you do. Also, on the other hand, you need to ensure that the focus of the business is not drifted from the end product that you want. What do I mean about this? Serve your clients to the maximum, make them happy, not ngemali. Make them happy ngoba hoya. I've always learned this thing. The minute client ngena pha emnyango, sumyeka aphume. Nobuthi mhlambi ayikho lento ayifunayo, sumyeka aphume. Keep in touch. Yayiva le? Uyakwazi uncola nangenye into. Uthi nobani chini. Hayi man, as much as ingekho le pork umzekelo, yayiva le. Uthi koyi, yewethu Thomi, yazi thina siyakwazi ukwenzela lula izinto xa unomncwabo. Thina siyakunqela inkomo yakho ize ungqengqile endlini. Yayiva ne? Say package iwe toni everything free delivery for when awufunanga abantu kufuneka ubanike ibhutile nentoni ayikusokolisi uthi ngoku wena uzilile pha ube uzisokolisa so mntase uziyazi into bana ndingumuntu okhoyo umnika ibusiness card ugqibile yayiva emveni kwethuba utsho kuye mhlawumbe uthi not necessarily even saying to them you have an offer yayiva ne umthumelele le uyise kwenye client uthi yo jonga Thomi yabona into banhle kanjani so what I mean by that is that when you keep in touch with them, create a friendly environment, a conducive environment. Clients want to benefit from you, benefit a good relationship. Nalando yokhathala small things. Mhlawumbe yakwazi ukuthi mandenza umzekelo Tobs, you're hosting an event here. While you're hosting an event here, uvesuti guys, we have a lucky draw. Mhlawumbe lando was mere 150. Ivenye baphathele emalini. Then we have a lucky draw. You don't have to ufake imali, but here are the tickets. Here, take the lucky draw. Everyone is excited. Oh God, then you give them, if it's Pop Palway, thank you for visiting the block. You know, as a first Pop would take a 30 rand.
It leaves an impression.
It leaves an impression that is so good. Yeah, man. You know, that is what people want. So, entrepreneur that is at home, try and ensure that your things are in order, your family is in order, your people around you are in order. The people around you, I mean your friends, I mean the people that you spend time, whether it's on a weekend, whether it's on a, you know, my friends, we, most of the time, you will find us, you know, Tobs, it's business. If it's not business, it's politics. If not politics, we talk about how can we make our families better? How can we make our homes more better? What can I do differently? You know, you share experience. You know, about you, I can match it, and then we share ideas. Let's do this much more better. Let's take this route here, and you find yourself now. You getting different blocks. You are building from Tibanis. One Tibanis. That's another thing that is very important as an entrepreneur. Okwazi uthi ufune uyohlala endaweni clean kodwa uhleli nehakho. You can't. Even that's another thing, you know. And also remember, being in entrepreneurship journey, it's a spiritual thing. It's a calling. It's a calling. It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone.
It's a calling. It's a ministry for that matter. Because we are dealing with people. You're dealing with people. And ensure when you deal with the people, you always by the way, I would. Even if we are my business within 3 months ends 1 million, keep in touch with your people. You know, keep in touch, be humble with them. Always ensure you're patient with them.
And pass that on even to the people that you have. Because it's going to get to a point whereby now you can no longer be in the level of touching and meeting your clients each and every day. But train these people that are under you. Let the culture grow up.
Definitely. So in all, in a wrap up, I mentioned in the beginning, and I said we like needles in life. We weave through different fabrics, whether it's yellow, whether it's green, whether it's purple, whether it's orange.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is the end product that comes after.
Yeah. To all the viewers that are watching us, I hope that you are enjoying the conversation. We're going to wrap up shortly. I just want to take some of the messages as ingenile pha ubuhle siwe sithi excited. Wangena uvi lwethu Sabane City, we are here for it. Wangena the number one broadcaster Silk Damoye City, definitely here for this. Wangena my friend Kanye Nondola City, let's go, watching all the way from Cape Town.
Wow.
Wangena up again pa ubuhle City, love the outfits. Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Inspired by Mr. Malisa. Wangena pa Moipone City, we are watching and listening. Yeah, thank you so much to all the people who sent in their messages and their comments. We are going to be closing the conversations shortly. 30-second question, 7, answer rapidly. What's your one-day habit that you cannot live without?
Ungakwazi ungena TikTok.
Serious?
Yeah, it's a habit now. I don't want to lie. Divuka, TikTok. Dilala, TikTok. I don't know why.
Inaba say Sunday like addiction, but not real. Coffee or tea, and why?
Coffee. It keeps me awake. Because when you're an entrepreneur, there's never a time that you should be. I can't go more up to my daughter.
Yeah, I
No, definitely.
Because coffee is espresso, cafe latte. Do you have one that is your favorite?
Coffee man kumum.
Nobody pina.
No coffee.
Number 3, if you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Focus. And in what you focus in, ensure that you don't remove your eyes from the ball.
Number 4, what's a book that has shaped your thinking?
The Bible. That's the most important one.
Which book in the book?
The book of Jeremiah.
Nah.
And the book of Daniel. I love them.
Yeah. This is not just a young lion.
Yeah.
Number 5, most memorable failure and what it taught you.
A failure in what? Any, right?
Any failure, yeah.
Repeating grades.
Really?
There's a point, yeah.
What
I
grade did you
repeated
repeat?
twice. I repeated grade 6. I repeated grade 9. I'm telling you. But what I learned is that
Yeah, because and if I listen now, not only, but it will be a conversation for another day when you come back. Well, fail is what you don't. Number 6, the most and the best advice your father ever gave you.
My father gave me advice to say, yonke into oyenzayo yenza ngamandla akho onke kuba kho kwenza kwelabafileyo.
Yo, I think that is in the book of Ecclesiastes. Yeah.
That is what you always say.
Last one. What does rest look like for you these days?
Come again?
What does rest look
To
like
rest,
these
rest.
days? Yes.
Sure. I think at this clay economy, there's never a time of resting.
You should go back to the first episode that I actually did, and you need to watch it because we talked about rest there.
There's no resting, The only time one will rest is in peace. There's
We'll
no
only
time.
rest in pieces.
There's no time of resting at this point.
Yeah.
The economy is not in our side,
Yeah.
One needs to push, especially that there are responsibilities that one has,
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm not married. So maybe at some point I would finish sebenzile, you know.
Hey, madoda. Usebenza phezu kwenkomo.
Thank you, sebenzile, yes.
Thank you so much, man.
Yes,
for
thank you
joining
so
me.
much. Thank you for
your
having
time.
me.
It was a beautiful conversation. Please
say your last words, whatever word that you have. Maybe it's a word of advice, it is a word of encouragement, whatever it is, please say to that camera.
Okay.
In closing.
Yeah. In closing, what I want to say to the viewer today is that life may not go according to what you want today. You might not get what you want at the moment. You might be going through different phases of life that are dark. You might be in a situation where you find yourself where you would think you'll never go through. You'll find yourself in a position whereby you're asking yourself, how can I go through out this situation? But I'm here to tell you that broken crayons can still color. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, to all the viewers and the people that are watching us at home, thank you so much for catching us once again for another episode of Conversations at the Block. I hope that this conversation has cultivated
do like the page.
Yes,
like the page.
yes,
Like
please,
the page.
please, tell them, tell
Yes.
them.
All the people at church, everywhere.
Everywhere,
Yeah.
please. So thank you so much for everyone. We truly appreciate everyone who does tune in. And the aim of these conversations, I always say this to all of my guests, is that I'm hoping to build a community of honest conversations, not just honest conversations, but conversations that even 5 years, 10 years to come, someone may be able to watch and listen to and catch something that is of value and that are grounded in the word. It's not necessarily supposed to be Shumaeli, but we want to ground everything that we do in the word, because I truly believe that the word of God speaks to each and every area of our lives.
Yes.
And perhaps maybe in the future we're going to come back where we're going to strictly talk about business and how a believer conducts themselves, the ethics that one upholds as a believer, and the difference and the things that sets us apart as believers who are running business. Because I looked in a but okay, let's leave it for another day.
That's true.
Once again, to all the people that are tuned in, don't forget to follow us as well on YouTube. We are Electronic Solutions. And I want to say this episode of Conversations at the Block has been proudly brought to you by Electronic Solutions. If you want to use these podcasting facilities, you can get in touch on 078-588-4696. We provide multiple services in the multimedia industry, from photography, printing, graphic design, web development, photography, video, cinematography. We do it all for you. So get in touch with us or send us your email at admin@electronicsol.com or admin@electronicsol.co.za. Up until next time, subscribe. Well, thank you so much once again for tuning in. If this conversation has spoken to you, please do share it with your friends, with your family, and everyone that is close to you. Let us grow this community where we're having beautiful conversations at the Block. It has been a wonderful episode. Up until next time, go serve your King.